Hello everybody, this is Debbie from Teacher Success Coach. I hope that you guys are well. What are you grateful for today? Oh my goodness, there's so many things I'm grateful for. Grateful for life. That's one of the big things for me. When I get up in the morning, I do my ritual, and one of it is give thanks and praise for being alive, and also identify things I'm grateful for when I get up, i.e. the family, friends, the opportunity that I've been given, also the experiences, and most importantly is to be alive, because when you have a life, there's so many things you could do. So, for me, that's one of the things I'm grateful for every day. And another factor is the beauty of my bed, because there's sometimes, this morning, I was so exhausted, I didn't even want to get out of that bed. It felt so lovely, comforting, comfortable. And I realized, oh my goodness, it is not Saturday morning when I'm not, because this weekend I don't have my mentoring group to go to. So in my head, I thought it was already Saturday morning. That's how tired I was. And then realizing, oh my goodness, I've got these children I need to go and look after in terms of imparting knowledge on them. They've got exams coming up, etc., etc. So this morning was one of those days that my bed was serving me even extra. Beauty of being in my bed. However, I had no option than to get up and go and do what I had to do. Anyway, yes, today have been a fantastic day at school. Every day is fantastic, but some days is far more fantastic than others. Today, in terms of I had my normal groups. I didn't have any year 10 group. I think probably that's why it's been so extra fantastic. I didn't have year 10. Year 10 students, although it's lovely, they also could be very, very challenging because they're young, very young students, 14, 15, etc. So they're still at that stage where nothing is taken seriously. So today I had my year 12, 13, 12s and 13s, yeah. And it's been really lovely. We have to meet people where they are. And one of the things for us educators, I do feel wherever a student is, you need to meet them at that point. There is no point in you wanting them to be somewhere else. That is your perception of where you feel they ought to be. That's not where they're capable at this time of being. So as educators, I find it so important, and I constantly stress to my colleagues that we need to meet students where they are, because at this time, this is where they are right now. So we need to embrace where they are and meet them where they are and support them as much as we can where they are. There's no point in we wanting them to be somewhere else. That, as I said, is our perception. They may not be able to get there right now. So you support them for where they are right now and just take it from there. My groups today was my health and social care group. This morning there was a little bit, because we were looking at health promotion, they were a little bit unsure, etc. And then they reminded me that they're doing exams on the either 22nd or 20th of this month. And one of the units they did during the pandemic, they're still unsure of it. So I thought, okay, I'll have to do a crash course in that unit, because they get, revision crash course, because they got exams in the next few weeks. And it was so fantastic because I had them twice today, which was a beautiful thing, because it means one lesson I could do, the timetable lesson, which is the promotion, and the other lesson I could do the exam unit. And that was brilliant because they thought they did not remember anything. So we were going through exam papers. Oh my goodness, they were on fire. And it was so beautiful to see. And it's like the excitement on their faces when they realize, oh my goodness, I've got this answer right. Oh my goodness, I know more than I thought I did. It is so beautiful. So it's like, it really motivates them to continue to doing revision, because one student said to me, Miss, this really motivated me, because he also made me feel that, yes, I could go home and start doing revision again. So there's sometimes we have to do little things to empower the student, to enable them to start finding the the win in the situation. And I think this afternoon I actually found the win in the revision session, because as I said, they were on fire, and it was really good to see the smile on their faces, the excitement, the eagerness to finish doing going through the exam paper. I gave them 2 extra to go home to practice with, and the students were on fire. So that was really fantastic. It actually made my job even that more exciting today, that the students realized that they know a lot more than they thought they did, and that's fantastic. And it actually motivated them to want to go and start doing revision again, because sometimes it's quite tiring, especially that they've had such a challenging journey in the last few years, and to actually start revising and realize exam is coming up at the end of the month, it's not really inspiring for them to actually want to do that. So as educators, as parents, as carers, as guardians, we actually do need to find a way to inspire these young people to start revising again, to start feeling that it is worth it. Also, start having a sense of self-worth. However, if we realize that they're no longer motivated or they really cannot hack it, we also need to feel okay with that. Because who said to us that you have to be doing this at a certain age and a certain stage, etc.? We've all been programmed to feel that when you're 16, you do your GCSEs. When you're 17, 18, you do your A-levels. When you're 19, 18, 19, you go to university. And it's like that, but that's a program. Why do we have to do it like this? We don't have to. There's sometimes we're not yet ready. Not everybody's ready to do that, do things like that in that fashion. I certainly was one of these people who didn't do it in that fashion. Yes, I did my, my GCSEs, or at the time it was what was it? It was O-levels. Yes, I did it at that age because I was at school. Yes, I did my A-level at that time. But after that, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't do anything in the field I wanted to do. I just did all sorts of job, and the beautiful thing about it, my mother was fine with that. She said, do whatever you want to do, what makes you happy. So that's something we need to be telling our young people. What makes them happy, not what we want them to do. Sometimes you might find that after they've done the GCSE, they don't want to do anything just yet because they've been in education for a long time. Plus, they had the challenges of COVID. If they say to you that they want to just take a year off to find themselves, that's fine. But one of the things I would strongly suggest is encourage them to find a job. It doesn't matter what job it is. It actually gives them a sense of responsibility. It also gives them a sense of purpose. It also enables them to see how life operates. It gives them all this opportunity and experiences. And probably when they finish doing either the job in a shop or the job in a factory, it doesn't even matter what it is. It might make them realize, okay, I no longer want to do that as a form of job. I want to do something else. It might be that's what they need. Because for me, I know when I actually finished my A-levels, I worked in a factory, in a nail polish factory. I then worked in a hospital laundry. I then worked in a cake shop. I then worked as a cleaner. You name it, I did it. I didn't know what I wanted to do, and there was no problem in me trying those things out. So you actually give me a lot of opportunities, and you become very empathetic. When you see people doing those jobs, you start being grateful for what they're doing. I also, worked in McDonald's. I was a cleaner. I did so many different jobs when I left school because I did not know what I wanted to do. teaching was not even on the agenda, because I wanted to become a medical researcher. But you know, as it happened, sometimes things choose us. And I must say, you know, God wanted me to be an educator, and I must say something I am doing, and I've done different aspects of it, and I'm loving it. And that was what I was called to do. You know, it's like people say education is it's an occupation. It's what is it? It was It's not a job, it's a vocation. That's it. It's a vocation. Yeah, well, I hear it's a vocation, but it's a vocation I love. And there's so many aspects of it. Because I do feel that there are times, yeah, there's sometimes it's challenging, but every day there's some challenge in it every day, and there's some beauty in it every day. Because everybody in this whole wide world had an educator who really was there at the start. Every job needed an educator or a teacher. And it's something we need to be grateful for. So there's some days it's challenging, and with the challenge come the gift of, you know, students understanding what you're teaching them, etc. And then you have the aha moments, which is beautiful. I call it my win. So today, you know, my win was my health and social care students having the aha moments and saying, yes, they want to go home and revise now because they actually realize they know more than they think they did. So that for me is a win. And every day within the education sector, there is a win. And no one day, no 2 days are the same. You know, you could have the same group of students, but there's always something interesting and something to learn. Every day I'm learning from my students. Every day I'm learning something from my student. It's like today, one of my students was showing me how to, you know, use one of the programs in order to make life easier for me to get my, you know, when I'm actually writing exams for students. And it was fantastic. Because every day I'm learning something from my students. The same way every day they're learning something from me, every day I'm learning something from my students. And for that, I'm really grateful to them for that, because I constantly say, my students are my teacher. As much as I am their teacher, they're also my teacher. And I have no issue in saying that. Yes, I'm learning a lot from my students. Yes, they're learning a hell of a lot from me, but I'm also learning a lot from them too. So my win today is I've learned something from my student, which, you know, in terms of me, you know, writing the exam today, it took me an hour and a half to finish that. And that was brilliant. Whereas had the student not taught me the skill, it would have been taking me longer. So that's one of my wins. And another one of my wins today is my students having aha moments that they realize they know a lot more than they think they did. You know, so those are my wins. And I'm saying to everybody, and I'm saying it all the time in all my lives, we all have wins. The universe never give you all negativity. It's never give you all negative. Life is not all negative. We need to find the win and celebrate it. The more you celebrate your win, the more it makes you feel empowered. The more it makes you feel, you know, that you have a reason to be living. It gives you a purpose. It gives you a passion. It's a passion. It gives you on a mission. It is so important that you identify your win. And believe me, there are wins in every situation. It doesn't matter how negative you think the whole situation appears to be. Believe me, within that negative situation, there is a positive in there. It might be tiny, but it's there. And you know what? The more you demonstrate gratitude for that tiny bit, the more that tiny bit become bigger and bigger. And the more when you start reflecting on it, the more you start looking at it, oh my goodness, it is not as small as I thought. Oh my goodness, this is beautiful. So what I'm saying to you guys, identify your win and celebrate it and demonstrate gratitude for it. Because even some of the negative aspect, find the positive and find the lesson in it. In every situation, there is a lesson. And it's up to you what you want to do with the lesson and how you actually use that lesson. this month is Mental Health Month, Mental Health Awareness Month. And one of the things that I would suggest to people is you need to look in your workplace and ask them, or you find out for yourself, what are they doing to increase mental health awareness? As we are all aware, mental health is on the increase. And things like OCD is on the increase. Anxiety is on the increase. And you know, you could see it within the student population. And as we know, suicide is on the increase. We need to make mental health normalize. We need to normalize mental health. It is so very important. Mental health is not about someone being mad. In the same way you take care of your physical health, you must take care of your mental health. It's also feeling that some days that, you know, your mental health might be challenged. It could just be that you're feeling, you know, mentally exhausted. That demonstrates that your mental health is not in peak position as it ought to be. That doesn't mean that you're mad. So we need to start normalizing the mental health issue. It is okay. The same way we normalize physical health, it's okay to have issues with your physical health. It is okay to have issue with your mental health. And we all need to be aware, because this month is health awareness. We all need to be aware as what organizations are doing to increase mental health awareness. And, you know, something we say all the time in terms of application form, we need, one of the classic thing in application form you hear all the time, you know, I was talking to my VA about that. In a lot of application forms, something we're looking for someone who work under stress. Really? Working under stress? That cannot be a healthy thing. But we think that is normal. And when we actually go for interviews, we say, oh yes, we work quite effectively under stress. Why should we want to work under stress? Think about that one. I want you to actually process that. Because even when we go for interviews, we're actually telling our prospective employee that we work well under stress. Really? Why should we work under stress? Why should we want to work under stress? Why should we be normalizing working under stress? We shouldn't. And I want you guys to process that. Because when you see application form, it says, you know, work well under pressure or under stress, whatever terminology they're using. You need to reflect on that. Why should we? Why should we feel that is normal to be working under stress? And even when we actually go for the interview, we say to them quite proudly, oh, I work effectively under stress. Really? Should we really want to do that? That's something I want you to process. And I want you to reflect on that. As I said, you know, a reminder, Mental Health Awareness Month. What are we doing? To normalize that it is okay to have challenge with our mental health. The same way it is okay to have challenges with our physical health. What are we doing to increase awareness of what's going on in relationship to individual mental health? Mental health does not mean madness. And so what if it means madness? So, you know, there's nothing wrong with it. We need to start removing the stigma which is carried by individuals who suffer from mental health or mental unwellness. We need to start removing those stigma, because the minute someone say that they have a mental health challenge, they become labeled. They become labels. We need to start making it feel okay for people to be discussing when they have a mental health challenge. In the same way, people feel okay to discuss when they have a physical health challenge. Anyway, guys, I'll be banging on about mental health awareness for the next, you know, few months, etc., because I'm seeing it in my institution every day. Every day you have a student saying to you that, oh, Miss, you know, I just feel challenged. I just feel I don't want to carry on. I just feel I just want to give up. I just feel stressed. I'm just feeling anxious. This is all to do with the mental health. It's not where it ought to be. There's nothing wrong with that. We need to find a way to support them on that journey so that their mental health would be in equilibrium, and it's going to be, and it's balanced. And we need to encourage young people, especially, to discuss the mental health issues and the mental health challenge the same way they feel comfortable to discuss the physical health challenges. We need to encourage them and empower them to do that. Anyway, guys, have a fantastic evening, morning, night where you are, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully tomorrow morning, because I want to start doing a session on empowerment with women, and also looking at mindfulness and meeting students where they are for educators, because I think it's so important, as I said at the beginning of this, that as educators we meet our students where they are, because we don't know what challenges they've got. Some of them could be suffering from mental health challenges. We don't know. We assume that we want them to, they're okay, and we also expect them to be at a certain place. They may not be ready to be at that certain place right now because of some of the challenges that they're experiencing. Anyway, guys, bye-bye. Take care. Stay blessed. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great evening. Celebrate yourself. Don't forget, in terms of self-love and self-care, no one would love you as much as you love you. You need to love yourself with all the issues you've got. It's you. Take care. Bye-bye.